right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to October 9th special events team meeting. Quick reminder, we don't make any thumbs up, thumbs down decisions in this meeting. It's an opportunity for event organizers and all of the agencies that are responsible for keeping our community safe during special events and making sure that they we're working with event organizers so they go off without a hitch or in the room so we can have a good conversation about the events that make our community such an awesome place to live. We'll start with introductions. My name's Maria Wade with the Office of Community Engagement, and we'll take it over.
Tanya Motisi, Ada County Highway District.
Conrad McDaniel, Republic Services.
Vince Vergara, City of Boise Parking.
Greg Eisenberg, Valley Regional Transit.
Abby Berg, Downtown Boise Association.
Joey Eccles, Boise Parks and Rec.
Camille Rogers, Ada County Paramedics.
Jesse Tapper, Boise Fire Prevention.
Cameron Colos, Boise Police Department.
Matt Sly, Boise Police Department.
Mallory Wilson, City of Boise Office of Emergency Preparedness.
Dina Sugar, City Clerk Office.
Tina, do we have any of our event team online today? No? Ed?
Hi, Ed Graves, Public Works.
Jonas? Okay. Oh, hey, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Wow,
You
I'm
just
a
like
dude
scroll
out,
in.
so
You just
late, and my name's Steve from the state.
We like try to keep things on time here, Steve. You gotta like show up. All right, first off the bat is the 2024 Turkey Day 5K. Boise could not love this event more, and welcome, you guys. It's nice.
Hey, thanks.
Nice
Can
to
you?
see you on Zoom?
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
We sure can.
Okay. And if I pull up my screen, will everybody be able to see it? Let's do share. All right. Is everybody able to see the Turkey Day screen?
That looks great. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So this is our 14th annual Turkey Day. With me from our team today, Matt Helbig is with us. I believe Adam Swanson and Kai Odell are on. So I'll just go through our plans as usual, and then I know there's more specific questions that we'll dive into that's not covered on this, but I'll just run through this really quick, and then we can answer questions once I get through the slideshow. If it's going to let me click through. All right, so 14th annual. Again, we've served over 65,000 runners in the previous 13 years. It's 5K run walk, 3.1 miles. We start at 9 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning. Over the course of the years, we've collected over 12,000 pounds of food for the Boise Rescue Mission. And this year, the event benefits Camp Rainbow Gold and the Boise Rescue Mission. We've got another number of other smaller charities are involved through volunteer groups with the event. And then our total volunteers and staff for the entire event week stands right at 140. An operational timeline for everybody at 3 o'clock on Wednesday, the 27th. We put up the no parking signs. I spoke with Vince yesterday. We're going to bag the meters in front of City Hall, and then on Main Street between Capitol and 6th Street. That allows us for our evening setup. The event, we start clearing cars out of that area. At 6 p.m., we close Capitol Boulevard from Main Street up to Bannock to allow us for our setup. That's the tents, decorations, the portable toilets. Those get delivered, and we're there on site until 10 o'clock, and our overnight security arrives. Thursday mornings is Thanksgiving morning. We close Capitol at Myrtle going north. That allows us to close Main Street so we can get our balloon decorations, the timing mats, and everything set out on Main Street. At 7 a.m., Idaho closes from 6 to Capitol, and that lets us finish our finish line set up there on Capitol, just north of Idaho Street. And at 8:45, we start our course closures for the race start. Race starts at 9 o'clock, and right after the race starts, we start opening the streets right behind the last runner walkers. 10 a.m., last person finishes, and we reopen the entire course with the exception of our start finish festival area on Capitol Boulevard. And at noon, our cleanup is complete. All roads are reopened and we are off and on our way. A little more detail on it. At 7 a.m., we set up our timing system on Main Street. At 8 a.m., the course marshal arrives. We always do a pre-race briefing with our course marshals, whether they're volunteers, Boise PD, REACT, Knights of Columbus. We meet with everybody at 8 a.m., give them their instructions. Matt Konvalinka has always done the race instructions for us the last few years before we send our volunteers, marshals, and officers, certified flaggers out on the course. We have a late participant check-in that starts at 8 a.m. there on race site. And then 8:45, we start closing the course down to traffic. 8:55, our national anthem. At 9 a.m., the race starts. Medical communications. So we have contracted injury care services. They've been doing care for us, I think, the last 7 years for the race. On course, our staff, we communicate directly with the race director via cell phone. And then on course, we direct our staff, volunteers, certified race directors. If there is an emergency on course, they call 911 first, then notify the race director. And the week before, we always call St. Luke's ER, notify that the event is happening because we come really down close to their facilities on our race course at the very east end of the start of the race. Lost child location, we have a morning registration tent. We have a staff member assigned for lost child, so we'll bring them in. We notify race director, we notify staff, and we notify Boise PD that we've got a lost child on site. Neighborhood notification plan. They've been emailing with Abby. So we've already started. We do 60 days leading up to the event. We're active on the neighborhood social media platforms, alerting the residents, businesses of temporary road delays on Thanksgiving morning. We meet directly with businesses located on the course, and that includes, there's a couple of churches that have morning services on Thanksgiving morning. We give them our plan, give them alternate routes for their parishioners to arrive without any inconvenience. 2 weeks prior, we visit the additional businesses that are open on race morning. And so far, every year, the only ones that have been open are Java's, Goldie's, Dawson's Taylor, and on 8th Street, and then Kevel Fitness, which sits right on our course. They're open, but they're super positive about the event. And then the other business that's open on our race course is the Hyatt Place, and we assign course marshals so the guests that are trying to exit, they can get out on Bannock and they're not using the exits onto Jefferson, which is part of our course. In addition to that, we send a team out 2 weeks prior, and they'll visit every district, every business within a block on either side of the race course. So we'll provide a course map with a timeline of closures. So we cover that as well. And I didn't have that on this slide. Our start line is what our start line looks at Main and 6th Street every year. This is the Finish Festival area in front of City Hall. The tent that spans this is our food tent. So it's a 10 by 40. There are no sides on that tent. We just have our service tables. Athletes will be crossing. They'll have already finished, then they just walk across. They go through the food tent. The next block, white block here, those are just tables. Coffee sets up the post-race coffee and hot chocolate service in that area. Then down along the side of the Egyptian Theater is where we position our restrooms. And then again, we have if the weather's inclement, we put a small 10 by 10 tent over the top of our band. If it's nice, we don't put that tent up there. Little more expanded view. So you can see the finish line is up here just north of Idaho on Capitol. They go through the food tent, again, porta potties, the band, our morning registration tent and lost child tent. This is just a food drop off for food donation for the Boise Rescue Mission. And then the finish line, our start lines up here on Main Street with the start line being down here on the corner of Main and 6th Street. We do every year the Capital City parking garage. We convert their exit on Wednesday evening. So this exit on the Capitol gets closed because our food tent is right here, so they don't have anywhere to go. And we convert the exit onto Idaho, or the entrance on Idaho become exit. We have a sign up that directs people where to go to enter the parking garage. The parking garage people have been amazing the last couple of years. They've been right on it. They've closed that exit off. They've got their own signs made up for this. So it works out great. And then we use the trash and recycling dumpsters right inside there for our post-race recycling. Again, the course map, same as it's been the last 4 years now. Since we dropped coming on down 4th Street, we're out and back on Jefferson. The one thing we're doing different this year on this course, this is Boise PD recommended this. We have two-way foot traffic here, this section of Jefferson. We tended to get runners crossing both sides, so we had a little bit of congestion. So we are putting traffic cones down the center of Jefferson where we have the two-way foot traffic to divide the runners a little, make it a little more definitive division for the runners rather than down this. Traffic control plans, submitted the full traffic control plans, all the details to ACHD this morning. Again, course is staffed by 58 volunteers, Boise PD React certified flaggers. Course closes 15 minutes prior to the start, and we have a rolling opening behind the last runner or walker. Our staff and Boise PD always sweep to make sure all the runners are off the course. Boise Fire Department, for them, all our tents are provided by Event Rents of Idaho. Again, these are the only tents that we use. The 10x40 food tent has no sides on it. The 10x30 check-in tent has a back wall only. We don't use any heaters on those. And then the 10x10 for the band is we only use that if we have inclement weather. We need to keep rain or snow off the band. On the check-in tent, we do use a small generator so we can power lights because it's usually still dark in the morning when we start setting that up. For Central District Health, we have 40 portable toilets for the event. We put 6 up at Cecil Andrus Park, right at the halfway point of the race course. We have 4 hand wash stations there at the Finish Festival. Boise Bacon serves, they bring fresh cooked bacon over from their restaurant. They serve bacon to every participant at the finish line. I talked to them this morning. They've submitted, or in the process of submitting their permit to Central District Health. And then Goldie's, I spoke with them this morning. They are submitting their permit as well to their service. And those are the only food vendors we have for the event. And then for Central District Health, this is that 10x40 tent that spans Idaho. The top of the page is south. The bottom page is north. So that's just the traffic flow through the food tent. And then so the red rectangles are the tables where we've got the bacon laid out and we have volunteers serving the bacon. We have hand wash stations right there by the food service. Is serving coffee on the tables right behind the food tent. Trash and recycling. The only trash we anticipate, we're pretty consistent with it, corrugated boxes, paper napkins, and paper cups. We have 30 trash and recycling boxes that we set out in the finish area. Those are our own that we provide. We have our own trash boxes, and as the dumpsters on the bottom of the Capitol Terrace garage. Insurance, we have insurance certificates on the way for the City of Boise, ACHD, and ITD. And that's it.
Wow, thank you.
I know that was a quick blow through of everything, but
Well, no, now I'm more concerned about like if you're prepared. I'm worried about you right in the eye of the hurricane.
Oh, yeah, it's a little windy down here, but I think we're taking a glancing blow. We expect a little bit of I'm watching branches come off palm trees and things, but it's not a bad place to be right now. We're not getting the worst of it. I feel much worse for the people further up the coast.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Also, just one thing for consideration before we start questions is thinking about a few additional ADA porta potties in
Yes.
ratio. Like that I do not remember off the top of my head what the correct ratio is, but I think you might be a little bit shy of best practices, and everyone can use ADA porta potties, but not everyone can use regular porta potties. So we'd love to have you take that into consideration just a bit. And then ACHD.
Good morning, guys. Great presentation. I think I need to sign up for this event because bacon at the finish line sounds like a great idea.
Oh, it's amazing.
I have received everything except your certificate of insurance, like you said just this morning, with the traffic control plan. So we will discuss offline. There will be some changes to your. plan.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I know there's a lot of construction going on, but if we get through this, then we can hit that one-on-one. So,
Just a couple.
okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know, Tanya, I'm stressed out thinking about how to cook 6,000 pieces of bacon. That's a lot of bacon. Equipped. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Ed.
Cool.
Ed,
Hey, thank
there's
you, Keith.
no plastic involved in the cooking of the bacon. Just kidding.
I wasn't even gonna touch the subject. Bacon is like its own thing, so you do what you gotta do. No. Yeah, thank you for the in-depth presentation. I just wanted to just point out a couple things on your application. You listed paper cups and paper napkins as recyclable. Those are trash items.
Okay.
But I would like to know how do you plan on it? How do you normally capture all of your cardboard boxes to recycle?
Those, so typically some of the things that we have, like awards, the award medals, we're unpacking those on race morning. That's our staff and volunteers. So as we do that, so, picture how many boxes 6,000 race medals comes in. It's quite a few. They're small, but we break those down, flatten those, and it's our staff and volunteers, and we bring those straight into the dumpsters. And that's really the only corrugated that I believe we had that we generate for that, and those from the award boxes. So
No.
we used to do a lot more because we used to do loads of granola bars and cookies, and the cases of those would come in cardboard boxes. It was a lot more, but we've stopped doing that. People just weren't taking those items. So, and Boise Bacon wanted to start doing bacon at our finish line, so we said absolutely. So
Perfect. Well, no, thank you. That was the answer I was hoping to hear. So I feel like you all do a pretty great job on this. And so thank you very much. And I'll reach out with any other questions.
all right, awesome, thank you.
Hi, Keith. It's Conrad, Republic Services.
Hey, Conrad, good to see you again.
Good to see you. Hey, the only thing I'm missing is I'd like to see permission or acknowledgement from Capitol Terrace Garage that it's still okay to use their dumpsters.
Yep, that's in the works. We go through this every year where we try and reach them, and we finally just walk over and get them to sign off on that. But that is already in the works.
Okay, great. That's all I'm missing. Thank you.
Okay.
Keith, I believe that we're set in parking. I owe you an email that will detail what we're going to be doing with the meters over on Capitol as well as Main. So I will send that out to you next, and we'll continue off of that.
Okay, thank you, Vincent. I was the one that owed you the email to start with after our conversation, but I was, believe it or not, I was busy with hurricane prep, lashing things down here
I'll send you
yesterday.
Take care, man. Thank you.
Yep.
This is really easy for us. Our buses aren't running, so no questions from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi, Keith. Good morning, team. Your notification plan is awesome, so I don't need any further action from you beyond collecting that paperwork from you a couple weeks before the event.
Okay, we'll try and get that in early, so if we're missing anything, we got time to fill in the dots. So.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Morning, Keith. Nothing from Parks at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Morning, guys. On your medical, is there a way for them will they have a golf cart or something to be able to get around if they need to?
Yes, they do. We actually used 3 golf carts for this event. One for moving staff and volunteers around the court. We have a spare one that we keep for 2 spare ones that we use for the race director, and it's there for injury care services if they need to get out of the course in a hurry.
Okay, wonderful. And if you could just send us that contract, then we'll get that added to your packet.
Yeah, the injury care contract.
Yes, please.
Yes. Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Morning, Keith. This is Jesse with Boise Fire.
How are you, Jesse?
Your presentation answered every question I had, so thank you for that. Got nothing further.
And is Jonas online?
I am online, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sorry about that. Joe Death from Voice Fire Operations. Hey, this is always a fun event. Look forward to the bacon at the end. Cameo asked most of my questions about the little golf carts and things like that. My only comment would be is we've had some issues this year with staffing for events. We've had people sign contracts and commit to things that they were not able to commit to. So as far as your medical plan goes, it looks great, but I would definitely have a plan B for last minute should somebody be able to not meet their obligation for the medical plan.
Okay.
That's about as vague as I can be. And so I apologize for that. But I would put plan B in the hopper just in case. And I'll leave it at that. If you guys have any questions, I can talk with you about it offline.
Okay, I know we have an upcoming safety meeting for the event, so we can address that in a lot more detail at that meeting too. So, but yeah, I appreciate the heads up on that.
Thank you very much and good event. Thank you.
Hi, Keith. This is Matt Sly, Boise Police. I have no further questions. Your presentation answered everything, so thank you.
Yep, and just know I sent Sergeant Konvalinka our intersection list again. It's the same one we've used last few years, and he just goes through it to reaffirm where he wants Boise PD on the race course. So it's an Excel spreadsheet. So I don't anticipate any changes, but he has that. And then I give him a list of all of our intersections, so he knows exactly who's supposed to be at every intersection.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much for doing that.
Yep.
I'm all set as well. Thank you.
All right, so state has a couple questions. As you're running by the south steps of the Capitol, there's going to be a protest most likely still happening. I would highly encourage you to reserve these steps, even though if you're not going to occupy them. In order to do that, do cms.idaho.gov, and then it's the Jefferson steps that will allow you the right to have the steps over the protest. And then the protest will move to an alternate location, I believe. So,
all right. Well, hey, I appreciate the heads up on that. So, yep, we will do that.
One of the few states left, I might be the last state left that still has a 24/7 protest going on. So,
okay.
Congratulations. I think that's all I have.
Thank you.
Good morning again, Mallory with Office of Emergency Preparedness. As you noted, it sounds like you already got the invite for the safety and security meeting next week from Rachel and our team. So use that time to discuss some of the more details around medical plan, traffic control, all those kind of elements. So other than that, I think you look good from our perspective. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi, guys. My name is Dina. I am backup for Kelly for the special event, and I let you know the CDH perspective. And every Bacon fan, CDH is good with your event, so the Bacon can be there. Yay! And looks like your food and beverage plan is same than last year, so they don't have any issue with that. And if you need any assist in the future, still looking for the special event team or Kelly, and we are happy to help for you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And I just realized we have like 2 views of Adam on this call, which is very, very meta at this point. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. I will look forward to a good event and hope you all stay safe and healthy.
All right, thank you very much. And everybody should have my email address and phone numbers. They can reach out directly, and I'm sure we'll be in touch with everybody over the next few weeks.
Awesome.
Thank you very
thanks.
much.
All right. Next up, Veterans Day Parade. Jay, Bob, and Bob. Welcome back. As always, thank you for your service to our country and our community.
Okay, thank you. My name is Bob Piazza. I'm a retired Navy captain. I was here last year. Thank you all for your time. This year's parade is essentially going to be the same as last year. One request I have is because of my advanced age and my aged hearing aids, if each of you could speak up a bit, I really would appreciate it so I don't miss your questions or your comments. With that, I'll turn it over to Jay Romling. Jay is our operations chair, and he's the key guy to this whole, I'm just there as a figurehead, so.
By way of introductions, this is Sean Small. He'll be our security representative here today. And I believe he'll be joining us there in the operations tent. Good. So I have a PowerPoint presentation. I'll go through it pretty fast. The drawings, I believe, are going to be too small to read, but I have them on full scale on that disk as well, on that thumb drive. I don't know if.
There we go.
Okay, so in the way of overview, I won't read all these. You guys can read through them yourselves, just because there's a lot to go through. But I believe those are the questions that you asked us in your documentation that you sent out to us. The important part is that the parade is Saturday, November 2nd at 10 o'clock, and it'll be over to about noon. About 9,000 spectators, and the benefit to the city is a demonstration of the community's appreciation of the sacrifices of veterans, their families, and their families in service to the nation in Idaho.
Jay, can I have you put the mic a little closer to your mouth, please?
Certainly. And I appreciate your patience. Every year I struggle with this, and you guys are very patient with me. I appreciate it. These are the events, these are the issues that you asked us to cover, and I will get to these, but I'll cover each one of these, but not in that order. The narrative is directly from our website regarding the mission of the Idaho Veterans Parade. The first thing we'll do on Friday afternoon around 6 p.m. is send out 3 teams on golf carts to set up the parking placards. I think there's 200 and some parking placards, and we're going to use some caution tape to string parking meter posts together so that we don't have to we seldom have enough placards to go all the way around. So we'll be using caution tape to tie those posts together and stretch the signs a little bit further. The staging area is highlighted in red. The barriers will be provided by Construction Specialty Supply this year. And we know that we are yet to submit our traffic control plan, but that's coming. The issue in the top right corner is the work going on State Street, and we were hoping that we wouldn't have to pay for some of those barricades, but it looks like they're going to be coming down before the parade date, so I think we're going to end up paying for all of them anyway. The barricades go in at 7 a.m. They'll be set out in the area on Friday night. So we can check and make sure they're in the right place. And then at 7 o'clock, they start going in. 8:30 parade vehicles will start showing up. And by 9 o'clock, all the barricades should be in place. Parade starts at 10. The parking areas that we'll be using for our people, our volunteers, are the two to the, there in the center, the top right, the top center is Boise Plaza, and above it and below it are 2 parking spots, the parking lots that they use for their visitors. Those will be our VIP parking lots 1 and 2. To the top right is the State of Idaho parking lot that we'll use as parking lot number 3 for VIPs. Off to the left, on Bannock Street, there is the Idaho Power parking lot that we use as our 4th VIP parking space. And then at the bottom left is the Idaho Power parking lot that we'll use for volunteers and staff. The KTVB will be broadcasting again this year. along with Valiant Productions providing the audio system for us and the link to KTVV from the steps. All these drawings are available in full scale, so we can look at them later if there are any questions. Parade services, the green squares represent trash cans. We have two sections where we're setting out two groups of 3 porta pots each, 1 handicapped and 2 standard. The majority of our services will be centered on Boise Plaza as they have in the past. And you can see on Bannock Street there at 11th and 12th, we have 2 traffic control locations that we'll get into detail in a moment here. At Boise Plaza, it's where all our services are centered. The EMS will be located in the top right corner there at 11th and Jefferson, facing north. The other emergency vehicle is the Civil Air Patrol's radio truck. That'll be at the northwest corner of Boise Plaza, facing east. We have area there for VIPs for our volunteers, and a staging area for military VIP transports, civilian VIP transports. And there on the patio also we'll have a staging area for the Young Marines and the Civil Air Patrol who provide security services, communications for us. On the Capitol steps, the opening ceremony honoring the 20th anniversary of the full deployment of the Idaho National Guard will start at 10 o'clock. Prior to that, there'll be a 15-minute warning, a 5-minute warning, and a 1-minute warning. And then at 10 o'clock, when KTVB gives the signal to start the broadcast, we'll start the ceremony. About 10:20, the ceremony will be over, and the Highlanders and the Post 113 Honor Guard will not take part in the parade route. They'll move off. The guys in the Honor Guard are a little bit older, and the Highlanders march very slowly, a different cadence than normal marching. The exit plans, depending on what type of unit is in the parade, military vehicles are going to come down Bannock Street. When they get to Boise Plaza, they'll turn right on 12th Street, where their trailers will be waiting for any heavy vehicles that are in the parade. And then they can form up in convoys and move out to State Street and head home. VIP vehicles, let's see, that's the top left. In the center, top center, I believe is, oh gosh, I can't make that out. Well, anyway, vehicles that don't need to stop and drop off passengers can just proceed straight on Bannock past 12th Street and exit. Vehicles, groups that are marching and will be boarding buses. Buses will be parked at the Idaho Film Society area, which is the old bus station. They'll just walk over there, get on their buses, and then exit out. VIP vehicles will pull up to 12th Street and turn right, offload their passengers, surrender their signage, and then they can exit north on 12th. Youth and children's groups will come to 11th Street at Boise Plaza and then diagonally leave the parade route into Cherie Buckner Park, where they can assemble with their parents and guardians and move off to their transports. And lastly is the floats. Floats will turn left on 11th Street and 12th Street, pulling over to the curb and disembarking their passengers and taking apart any things that they need to take apart there on the curbside only. And I think that's it. So, your questions, please. Oh, Bob.
Yeah, I failed to mention that each year we have a theme for the parade. This year, as Jay mentioned, it's to honor the full deployment of the 116th Cavalry Brigade Combat Team in 2004. Coincident with that, this year we had Major General Garshak, who is the adjutant of the National Guard, retire after 37 years of service. He will be our Grand Marshal. And then Brigadier General Gayhart, who was part of the 116th back in 2004, will be our keynote speaker. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, guys. Great
morning.
presentation. I'm just awaiting your traffic control plan and application, so we can chat offline about that. State Street is in fact still closed and will be closed through the 29th of November. The intersections of 4th and 5th are open, but State Street is closed from 4th through 8th. So,
Okay. That'll be very helpful to us cost-wise.
yeah. And when you submit your traffic control plan, especially with specialty, they did the traffic control for the State Street closure. So you should be well versed on what's there and what isn't. And I'll notate that stuff on your traffic control plan.
Thank you.
It's also my understanding as of yesterday that ACHD is going to do a street sweep for us prior to the parade and then
Yeah, we can make that
afterwards.
happen. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
absolutely.
And I think you guys are going to have a veterans entry to the
Oh,
parade.
did you talk to John about that?
I know another lady that I've been communicating with.
Okay, sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Is John Wasson still with ACSG?
Yes.
Good,
Yes. He hasn't gone anywhere yet.
We'd like to have him on the committee.
I want him to
You
take my place.
Yeah, I'm sure he would do a stellar job.
Ed?
Hi, good morning, and thank you for your presentation. Just a quick question. When you set out the borrowed trash boxes and recycling bins, where do you normally set those out?
The trash boxes will spread out in the areas where people are likely to get a beverage, a coffee or something from one of the downtown store vendors, one of the brick and mortar vendors. We're not selling or offering coffee anywhere except on Boise Plaza to the VIPs and military people.
Okay,
So we'll distribute those out where people, I think it shows mainly along Bannock Street. And then up on the top right corner, I think there's one in each of those blocks. Yes.
copy. Okay. I see that now. I apologize. I didn't see that at first. No, that sounds great. I will though, Conrad will be talking to you guys after me. You'll actually be coordinating with Conrad to pick up trash boxes and recycling containers at Republic Services instead of City Hall like you normally have. I have reduced my number of bins to where I have very, very few bins anymore. So, but I'll let Conrad speak to that in greater depth for you. But I don't have any other questions for you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, thank you, Ed. We'll go ahead and arrange a way to get you those boxes. I'll give you the address. It looks here like the application says you'll be by on the 1st about 2 o'clock, which is perfect. Is that still the case?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
we're trying to do all our setup on Friday the night before and then details on Saturday morning.
Perfect. Okay. Yep. So I just need to get you a new address for where to come get those.
Okay, thank you.
And then your application says you'll have authorization from Boise Plaza Building Manager to use the dumpsters. Do you have that yet? I didn't see it on your application.
I don't recall putting that on there, but
Okay, yeah, so I just need to see some correspondence from Boise Plaza that you're allowed to use their trash dumpsters, recycled dumpsters.
Yeah, I think in the past, we've collected the trash and taken it away ourselves. In fact, I bring it to my manufacturing plant and use my dumpsters. And I can write a letter of permission for that.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's completely different than what I see on the application. So if you want to email me the plan you want to use, I'll review it and go off that. Sure. Okay, thank you.
Jay, I know we have to get you some signs and I am going to look over what we have in inventory and see if I can increase that amount for you because I know that we've talked about having to use caution tape to block off sections and stuff.
Mhm.
So we'll take a look at that. I'll see how many more signs I can provide for you and we'll continue off that. I'll give you a call and we will get that squared away. Okay?
Thank you, Vincent.
Very welcome.
No questions for VRT, but I would just like to say thank you for your service.
I beg your pardon?
So no questions for VRT, but I would just like personally to say thank you for your service.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for your tax dollars.
Thank you for the tax dollars.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for your presentation. Jay, there's an email in your inbox that I sent a little late yesterday with some instructions about neighborhood notifications. I've also been briefly in touch with Lois, I believe. So I'll touch base with you folks offline a little bit closer to your event and let me know if you have questions.
Okay, we were wondering, Bob brought up the possibility, is there a contact method that we can use to broadcast to that? Is there an association that all these people are a member of that they get email from that we could use to contact them en masse and then also do the walk and fill out the form?
Great question. Unfortunately, there's no mass mailing list. Turnover with business ownership is a little bit too high for us to keep something like that up to date. So we do prefer in-person notifications, but I can send you some contacts of the folks that we do know. I'll touch base with you offline.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, our current plan, by the way, is this Saturday, beginning at 10. Those of us that are available are going to be walking the streets.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you all for your service. Boise Parks and Rec doesn't have anything to add at this time.
Great, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for your service. I think we covered everything for medical in the safety and security meeting, so we're good.
Yeah, I echo those comments. Thank you, gentlemen. I have all my questions answered. Thanks.
And thank you for flying the flag for us this year again. We will have a second flag like we did last year. Idaho Power is the backup to the fire department, and they'll be flying their flag at the intersection of Capitol and Bannock.
Nice. Thank you.
Jonas?
None for me. Thanks. Look forward to putting the flags up for you guys and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service and your presentation. I'll talk to you guys offline about Boise Police Department and our number of officers that we'll have. That way we can let you guys kind of know what our plan is, but we can talk about that offline. So I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your service. I'm all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service, as well as when groups come and they say no changes from last year, it makes life so much easier. So thank you for both of those things. As I stated for the previous event, there will likely be a protest going on. You guys already have the south steps of the Capitol Reserve, so thank you for doing that. But they'll probably be somewhere along the route, but Boise Police and Idaho State Police will be aware of that. Lastly, in the spirit of John Wasson, he would like to know, are there any heavies on their way down?
We're not sure yet. That always takes a little time.
Yeah, we are hopeful that yes, there will be. The heaviest, if it's possible, will be an Abrams. They weigh out at over 60 tons. Very likely a Bradley fighting vehicle and then lesser vehicles. All of them have guns, so any protesters beware. Interestingly, for insurance this year, we were asked if there were going to be any guns fired at the parade, and we said yes, for the opening ceremony, there's a 3-gun salute, and 2 out of 3 insurance companies said we won't insure you because of that. Interesting. The other one didn't seem to have a problem with it.
But to be clear, you're not talking about shooting protesters.
Of course not.
Since I assume you spent a good portion of your career protecting our First Amendment right to free speech.
All
Steve,
the amendment
Just a
rights.
reminder that we in fact do have a constitution that protects.
Thank you for the
Political
clarification and
speech.
pointing that out.
Mhm,
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi. So as noted, you guys already had the safety and security meeting and discussed a lot of these things. So I think after that, there's some of those action items. And other than that, really good to go. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you.
Good morning, gentlemen. If you don't planning serving food or hosting food at the parade from the CDH perspective, you are good to go and not required any permit
We
from
will
them.
be serving coffee and donuts. Does that count?
That's count for food, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that last year. We don't sell it. It's for the convenience of our volunteers so early in the morning.
That was just catering. I reach out Dinko, and if he required anything, he will contact with you and let you know. But based on the knowledge, I don't think so it's required any permit from CDH, but he will be answer that question.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we're still happy to help you with Kelly and with the special team together. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. We will see you on the 2nd. Also, just that is in fact the Saturday before Election Day. So I imagine we will see quite a bit of activity downtown.
Well, we look forward to seeing all of you there, hopefully. And I brought with me our posters. If anyone would like them to put up in your workplace, we would greatly appreciate it. Let me know before I leave. I'll give you whatever you need. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and this hearing aid worked great.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Just a reminder to pay attention to pending approvals. We've got a couple that are waiting. Oftentimes, y'all have signed off on these before the meeting starts. So just a reminder there, and we'll look forward to seeing everyone in a couple of weeks.